some minorities getting shot and killed, unfortunately. Do you guys believe that it'd be best if black men would be armed with guns?
I mean, I'll go first. For one, I am definitely an advocate for black men to own guns. You need to do it the legal route. That's really the only way you should do it. It depends on where you live because I know there are certain limitations, especially with Boston, we're a red zone. So a lot of different with our little boroughs that we have, whether it be Roxbury or Dorchester, you can't get a gun out here. If you were to live in like Western Mass, it's a lot easier to get a gun out there. And then even then, it depends on your job title.
Right.
So the reason why I say we definitely should have guns is because I'd rather us get caught with it, have it legally, have your documentation, than get caught without it. Because it seems like every time there's a situation where a black man's caught without a gun, he's for whatever reason still thought to be suspicious and then brought down and then unfortunately killed for no other reason other than just suspicion. And he
Okay.
doesn't have a gun on him. There's been a lot of times where police have planted weapons, and it's
They
been
planted drugs in the black neighborhoods in the 80s. Right.
exactly,
So we know
exactly,
about this.
exactly. So it's just like all it really ever boils down is just you have to protect yourself.
Right.
We have a constitution, follow it to the best of your ability. I understand that it's a lot different for us. I'm not saying that we are exempt like a lot of white and a lot of the white individuals in the world where they can do a lot of the things that we do and it's not going to be seen the same, but I would much rather have a gun and know that I'm a little more safer in this world if
Right.
somebody jumps into my house than trying to just walk down the street
Rivalry.
having a regular day and a cop stops me because I look like somebody he thinks he's seen before, he thinks he's looking for. Because the perfect case for that is, unfortunately, rest in peace, Breonna Taylor, is how she was gunned down in her home,
Sleeping.
sleeping. And, her case is that her boyfriend, who was a lawful gun owner, took out his gun and did what he had to do. He bared arms. He didn't know what was going on. He had all you hear and all you see are just gunshots flying into your house. The first thing is fight or flight. He chose to fight.
I
And yet
respect
he
him for that.
still was taken into custody, still was brought in, and still arraigned. As far as I know, he's been out of jail. Everything's all set for as far as court dates. So, God bless for that. But it's ridiculous because I can promise you, if the roles were reversed as far as race, if this was a white man, there'd be no problem. They'd be giving him a medal.
Right. So,
So
so Irvin, what do you think? Should we be more inclined to own guns, like legally?
I'm gonna. I'm never gonna impede you on using your constitutional right to bear arms, but honestly, I'm going to have to say no. And I think the biggest reason why I'm going to say no is because you got to think about all these situations that they put us in. So, like for example, when you go to Fernando Castillo, even if you say that, oh yeah, I have a gun in the car, you'll be gunned down faster.
this
And
is fact.
yeah, it's fair. And the biggest thing is that when the cops talk about the situation, you're gonna be like, oh, he had a gun on him, and so instantly they can play, oh, I felt threatened because he was armed,
This is
and
true.
that goes back to the police training. So when you hear that the suspect is armed, in your head you automatically shoot first, and that's what they're training in the academy. Vice
Well,
versa. Hmm?
in their head, they only shoot first if he's black. If he's white, like the dude Dylan who shot 9 people in the church, they're gonna
Yeah,
be okay.
that's
So
fair. But
what I want to bring
okay,
up, right, real quick, is so we've talked about the legal side of it.
Right.
So a lot of times, homes are invaded and used, with lethal force because they know that you have a legal gun in a database. So my question to you both is, do you think that you should have an illegal weapon in your home? Now, that's not to necessarily mean that you just get it off the street. There are different avenues as to which you can get certified guns with certified serial numbers. However, the way you may purchase them and the way you may get them is up to you. That being said, you're still protecting yourself. You're still bearing arms. It's just that it's not on paper. It's not recorded anywhere. And with that, I mean, although it's gonna be a lot worse if they catch you. I mean, like I said, I'd rather have it than not have it because, like I said, Breonna Taylor's boyfriend did everything that he could. His girlfriend still died, and I mean, he took a couple cops because he didn't know what was going on. He didn't know the situation. You waking up at 4 a.m. and you're thinking that you have intruders. The first thing that you're gonna do is protect
All your
your own, your
instincts.
life and your liberty. It's
There's a
as simple as that.
there's a few things that you said, Khalil. So it really, like you said, remember how you said it depends on where you live?
Right.
Well, if you have stand your ground, fine. You should own a gun because pretty much everyone walks around guns like it's water, like a bottle of water. So I think you should be armed in those states.
Okay.
But for the general sense, like for the people who live in what's it called, the states that don't have the stand your ground law, I don't believe they should be owning it, just because of this. So I remember I was looking at statistics saying that if you're unarmed, the response time before they shoot you is 31 seconds. Well, 0.31, yeah, 0.31. But if you're armed, it's 0.26. That 0.05 might help someone realize maybe I shouldn't be shooting this person. You
But
know what I mean?
more likely than not, a lot of these cops are trigger happy. And I mean, it's like a chain reaction. It's a domino effect. You have one guy shooting, and then you get the autopsy, and then you got whoever this poor victim is with 22, 30, 45 shots. For what? You're supposed to shoot until they're not lethal anymore. Why can't you, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you're going into training, there's no way that the only thing that you're learning in training, as far as aiming wise, is lethal shots. You got to learn how to shoot somebody in the leg or something. Just something. It can't
Non-fatal
be that.
shots. Yeah.
There has to be a non-fatal shot system. There's no way that you're this many cops in this many different cities are this ignorant to it.
That's
Because
fair.
and I've
I'm
said
not
this
gonna
before,
lie.
even if it's self-preservation for the cop himself, even if it's just, all right, I don't want to have to do all this paperwork. Even if you're only thinking about yourself, you can still save someone by taking that second thought and stop.
All right. But
Okay.
anyways, this is my stance on whether a black man should own a gun. Originally I was like, well, if we own a gun, we're just gonna be targets. We're gonna give them a reason to shoot us. And we're not supposed to have guns in their eyes.
Okay.
So by having a gun, we're just giving them a reason to shoot. We're like, because at this point we're already black. So I'm like, he's black and he has a gun. I gotta shoot. That's how I saw it, right? But then the more people who die without guns, they putting their hands up and they're still getting shot in the chest at least 5, 10 times. I'm just like, what's the point of me not having a gun if I'm still gonna die regardless? Yeah, I'm giving them more of a chance to shoot me, but at the same time, it's like I'm a roll the dice. I want to live at the end of the day. So if I gotta shoot some people to survive, I'm gonna do that. But I'm not gonna put my hands up because listen, that's what they teach you as a kid. Oh, if you go outside, don't put your hands in your pockets. Keep your hands out. They try to tell you so you can conform to them. But if they're still trying to kill you and you're conforming, you can like what does that matter? You're still gonna die. So I'm like, if I'm gonna die, I might as well die fighting for my last breath instead of just giving up.
Right.
And Khalil, to your point about you saying if you have a legal gun in the system, that's a good point because then you're giving them an excuse to raid your house because they know you have a legal gun. So I'm like,
Exactly.
I don't know if I'd encourage people to get illegal weapons. I'd never
Right.
go to
Which
that.
I just want to say,
Right,
just for the record, I'm definitely not saying at any point you should purchase legal weaponry.
right,
I believe that you should arm yourself, but only in legal ways. You definitely
right.
get your psych evals, whatever you need to do in
But
order to get
however,
your gun
people have it
safely
like
in your
that.
state.
Do you? I will never tell you not to, but I'll also never tell you to do it because it's a
Right.
good point.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I would never advise that. Just on a preference.
So where I was gonna go with my comment, I was gonna say that I don't believe black people should own guns, but owning a bulletproof vest, most definitely. Especially if you're going to these protests, you damn well know you're gonna be a target, so you should get a vest.
So, okay, you say that. Let me draw back. It was a couple years ago. It was many years ago, actually, but 2020. So I want to say 2007, 2008. T.I., everybody knows T.I. You know, he's from Atlanta, famous
Yep.
rapper. He was taken to jail on charges of having dangerous weaponry. So he had suppressors and
Mm-hmm.
he had a couple of bulletproof vests. He got taken in. They took him in, said everything was illegal, confiscated it. He went to jail for like what, 5 years. So to your point, although you should definitely have some form of protection, um, like I said, that's another thing. It's like I feel like that's something that, once again, not saying that you should, but you'd have to go black market route without having to try to get it through the legal ways. I'm not saying that you can. There are plenty of people, entrepreneurs, even if you look on Facebook, gun enthusiasts who order all of these things, but in their state, it's legal to do that. You can go to Dallas, go to Walmart and buy a shotgun for $250 and nobody's
Gun
going to.
laws should be national. They shouldn't be state to state. They should be a whole. It should be by the government.